So as we continue to develop and as we continue to go into the soul energy, you're just going to feel your boundaries of this world soften and disappear. There's no limits. Again, there's just no limits to what your soul can do, spirit can do. Yes, there's limits in the body, but you don't have to go by that. You don't have to restrict yourself. So anything that you want to do, anything that's a passion for you. So if you wanted to open up a new restaurant, ask your soul for guidance. Ask for all the doors, all the right doors to open up. And if it's the right time, if it's the right time for a new business or a new venture, things will happen, and it will happen. If perhaps it's not the right time, then, maybe some doors are going to shut. So it's okay. We can accept that and say, okay, well, let me just go to the next thing. So whatever it is that you're passionate about or interested in, include the spirit world in your life, and ask for direction and ask for signs. Ask for people in spirit to help you. Ask for the masters of whatever your passion is to help you. This is how we get all the support, all the earthly support that we need through spirit and through other people. The spirit world can bring people into our lives, so it doesn't just come in the form of our soul. It comes in the form of books, and it comes in the form of other people. So stay open, just stay open to that. And every single time a limited thought comes into your mind, write it down. Write down that thought. I can't do that because I'm not good enough. Or I can't do that because, I don't really know what I'm doing. I can't do that because I'm scared. You can talk back to those thoughts and say, well, is that really true? Can I really not do that? Well, I can do that, but the question is, do I want to? So sometimes I find with my clients and myself, we pick things that maybe aren't the right things for us, or it's not our passion, or it's not something that's 100% what we want to do. And we try to make it work. And when it doesn't work, we blame ourselves. It's like, you see, if I was good enough, that would have worked. And that's just not the truth. That's not what's going to happen. What will work is what is really your passion, what is good for you, and really what's available to you at this moment. So always keep an open mind to that. And when these limiting thoughts come in your mind about yourself and other people, which they will, it's very easy to get triggered. It's very easy for all of us to get triggered, especially, if we're having a hard time ourselves. It's very easy to take it out on ourselves and other people. So our goal is really to keep saying, do I have to believe this? And when I do believe this, how do I feel? It may feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over, but how many times do we have to hear that? We do have to hear it quite a bit, because unconsciously we just believe our thoughts. We just instantly believe them and get affected by them. And if we allow ourselves to stay in these thoughts too long, they start generating feelings. And the feelings that they generate are not good, no fun, and make us feel horrible. So if we can kind of catch it early, if we could say, okay, there's a limiting thought. There's a limiting thought. I'm going to think them. I'm not going to stop thinking them, but I don't have to believe them. And that's the difference. So, as a therapist, there was always the why. Well, why am I feeling this way? Where is this coming from? And there is a time when you do want to find out the why. Why do I think the way that I think? Why do I feel the way that I feel? And you can spend some time in that and really exploring, so that you really can make sense of you. So that you can say, okay, I know why I feel this way based on my upbringing, based on the people that were around me and guiding me. I can see why I think what I think and I feel what I feel. But I want to move past that. I want to move past that. I don't want to get stuck in that, and I don't want to be a victim of my earlier upbringing. My early upbringing is from, birth to 21. We'll even push it. 21, we'll go to even 26 when we still have health insurance now. So if that was the time in our lives that we were guided by society and our parents and everybody in our, extended family, after that point, after 21, then we're kind of on our own, and we want to take responsibility for what we're creating. We don't want to keep saying, well, it was because I was treated that way, that this is happening. And again, we want to have a lot of compassion for ourselves and say, yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense. Yes, because maybe this happened to me when I was younger, maybe because I was neglected or I wasn't listened to, that I feel I can't trust people. And I don't feel like people are interested in me, and I don't feel like people are going to be there for me. So, we can continue with that kind of thought based, the seed coming from your childhood. Or you can say, you know what? How is that helping me? How does it help me to not trust people? What kind of energy does that put me in, the non-trusting of people? Yeah, sure. People's personalities are moody. I tell my clients all the time, we're all moody. And on any given day, you can see the best in somebody or the worst in somebody. But you know what? We're all the same. We're all doing it. So why don't we not take it so seriously? Like when a child is having a temper tantrum, or when a young child is just, freaking out over something and being mean. If we can detach and not take that so personally, then when other people do it, we're not so shocked, we're not so appalled, and we're not so wounded. We're not so wounded. So depending on what our earlier wounds are, is what's going to get triggered. So it really doesn't matter what they are. They can be very serious wounds. I think all wounds from childhood are very serious, and we deserve a lot of compassion for getting through our childhood and surviving it. So now we're all survivors of our childhood. And there was, I'm sure, many beautiful things that happened, and there are many things that shouldn't have happened for all of us. And, this is the time now that when that imprint from the childhood is being played out in your life now, that you challenge yourself. They say, okay, enough is enough. I'm not doing this to myself anymore. I'm not going to keep believing that I'm that child that can't do anything. I'm not going to keep believing that I'm not good enough. Because when I do, how does that make me feel? It just makes me feel horrible. So the goal really is to just question every single belief you have and say, whose belief is this? First of all, whose belief is this? Is it my parents' belief? Is society's belief as a whole? Whose belief is this? Do you know? I have a lot of women that come in and will say, I don't know why, but I'm like obsessed with my weight. Like why am I so crazy about my weight? I don't understand that. A lot of women aren't, and I'm like crazy about what I eat and what's wrong with me? And I'll be like, well, you got really good training from the world. And of course you're obsessed about your weight. We have a society that is very body focused. So how you look, what you look like, what you're doing with your body, and there's lots and lots and lots in judgment. So if your body's overweight, you're judged. If you're too thin, you're judged. If you're saying that your body needs to rest too much, you're lazy. If you are not traveling enough with your body, if you're not going places and doing things, that's judged. So this is the subtle messages that our family and society gives us. And it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. We just don't want to believe it. We just want to say, okay, well, because everyone in the world is focused on so much on their body, obviously I learned that lesson. And obviously I learned that belief. And that's okay. That's okay. I got that one down pat. The world has taught me, my beliefs, and I've learned them so well. So I know my belief system, based on my family and based on the world, I have incorporated like nobody else. And those beliefs will always be there. And a lot of those beliefs don't make me feel good. So when they pop up, and they will, then, when you connect into your soul, it's not like your beliefs go away. They'll always pop up. It's just, what are you going to do with them when they do pop up? Are you going to believe them and then just live in that all day? Or are you going to challenge it and say, well, here it is. Here's that earthly limited belief that if my body's not a certain way or I'm not a certain way, that there's something really wrong with me. If I'm not making enough money, or if I don't live in a beautiful house, there's something wrong with me. If I'm not in a relationship, that's another one. Being single, if you're not in a relationship, there's something wrong with me. So it's really important for all of us to not believe those things, to just not believe them and say, oh, okay, that's just the world and the criteria that the world has set. And who decided that? Who decided all these things are true? So we want to move out of that, and we want to help ourselves. So it's really it's a kind of a process of learning about your childhood, seeing, oh, this makes sense. This is why I feel the way I feel. So when someone triggers me, it makes sense that I feel sad when someone doesn't listen to me. It makes sense that I withdraw. That all makes sense. I just don't want it to continue. I want to say that was then, let me leave it in the past, and let me move into the present. And in the present, it's a fresh start. It's a clean slate. We all have a new day, and we get to focus in a way that is going to make us happy. So if my focus is learning mediumship, because that's my passion and something I love, I'm not going to be so much in those other thoughts because I'm doing something that I love. I had a wonderful weekend with wonderful people, doing things that I love, laughing and having a great time. So I was not in my, ego energy, which is you're not good enough, and you need to work on yourself, and wasn't in that energy. I was in a really, really good energy. So that was good, and that's what we all can do. So whatever your passion is, whatever you like to do, you'll be able to do it full force because your ego is not going to be holding you back. Your ego isn't going to be saying, no, you can't do that. You're not good enough to you're going to go for a weekend on mediumship. Who are you to do that? That's what the ego would talk, but you're not going to listen to that anymore. So whatever it is that you want to do in your life, whether you want to start a new job, or you want to start, writing, or you want to do poetry, or you want to write a book, you can settle that ego down just by not believing it and just saying, all right, I know my ego's going to tell me I can't do this. I know it. It's just a fact. It's just going to give me a hard time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to move out of that, and I'm just going to do what I want to do. And the more I do what I want to do, it's like a win-win situation. Then that will give you the support when you're in that energy of doing something that you love to do. And it moves you very quickly out of those feelings. So it's just a beautiful thing. So when you connect into the soul energy, just connect into it, and then see what develops. What develops for you? What gifts are there for you? What inspirations are there for you? What next thing is it that you want to just learn for the sake of learning, just because you're interested in it, just because you are drawn to it? What are you drawn to? What fields are you drawn to? What music are you drawn to? All these subtle pulls to things is really our soul. So if the type of music that you like, or the colors that you like, or the clothes that you like to wear, or how you like to spend your day, how you truly like to spend your day, not what you think the world wants you to spend your day. The world will tell us that a good day is getting 20 things done on your list. But that's not the same definition your soul will give you. A good day for your soul is being in a beautiful energy and taking your time and doing what you want to do, and reading, or relaxing, or watching TV, or starting a new hobby. Your soul has a very, very different agenda. Very, very different agenda. And it's an unlimited agenda, and it never ends. And then when we do go into the spirit world, the good news is that we continue it. We just continue on it, and it's beautiful. One of my friends during this weekend, she does soul regression and past life regression. And she was trained by Brian Weiss. So she did past life regressions with me and my other friend. And it was so fascinating. It was so amazing. And she was so good at it. And we were brought back to different lives that we had. And, that might be hard to believe in this earthly body because we're so connected to this lifetime. We're so connected to this body. But when you do a past life regression, you see, oh my goodness, I've had other lives. And in these lives, some of them were really good and happy and I was content. And some of them were not so good. So it does give you this feeling of less attachment, that if I'm not going to get everything done this lifetime, I have plenty of lifetimes to get it done. And to me, can we prove that 100%? No, we can't prove it 100%. But that feels so much better to me than this is it. This is my only life. When I die, there's nothing left and I better get everything done. Well, that feels like an enormous amount of pressure. So when you go into the soul energy and you ask and you say, oh, is this past life regression real? You feel it's authentic when you're in the soul energy. But if you're standing in your ego and you ask, is past life regression, is mediumship, is psychic, is all that real? You're going to get a big fat no. Nope, those people are crazy and none of that is true. And do not expand yourself. Do not open your mind to that. Keep your mind closed and keep it safe. And when you move out of all that and you go into the soul energy, you're going to feel and you're going to know what's true for you. And, that helps so much. It just helps an enormous amount. So keep challenging yourself. Keep challenging these beliefs. And when they come up, understand them with compassion and kindness for yourself and understand how hurt you've been and that this hasn't been an easy go. But that you're no longer going to believe that you're limited. And you're no longer going to believe that this life is your only life. And you're going to expand and you're going to feel the magic of spirit. You're going to feel the magic of your soul. And you're going to open up to your gifts, whatever they are. So, just keep asking to feel your soul energy. Move out of that ego. Don't let the ego trap you. Don't let the ego get the best of you. Okay? Have a beautiful day. I hope this helped. If you have any questions or anything that's going on with you, please feel free to leave a comment. And I'll talk to you next time. Have a great day.